Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, a channel where I try and showcase the fun that could be had in the world of variant Sudoku, and this really is a variant Sudoku. Occasionally you see me do fog puzzles on the channel, and occasionally you see me do Quattro Quadris on the channel. This is both. This is a dynamic fog. In this puzzle it's listed as a progressive fog Quattro Quadri puzzle, and I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try. I haven't done a Quattro Quadri in a while. So this one is called It's Better to Light a Candle Than Curse the Darkness. You can do both, particularly if you stub your toe in the middle of the night. We've all done that, right? Right. Anyway, this is by Maya, and yeah, really nothing to go through apart from the fact that I'm looking forward to this puzzle. So let's get straight into it. So this is a Quattro Quadri. So we have to place the digits 1 to 9 once each into the 3x3 boxes. So each of these 3x3 boxes must each contain the digits 1 through 9, and you may not repeat, digits may not repeat in the same row, column, or box. Now you'll notice that each of these rows and columns are only 6 digits in length, so we don't have to use all of the digits 1 to 9 in each of the rows, but we do have to use all of the digits 1 to 9 in each of the boxes, but we don't know which digits go into each row, so that makes this really interesting. So we then have German whispers. Any two cells along a green whisper line must differ by at least 5. So we can see that this line does go into this box as well as into this cell as well as into this cell. So those two digits must have a difference of at least 5. Those two digits must have a difference of at least 5 because these lines are continuing. You can see there's a little bit of hint of green here, probably indicating there's a line going from here to here. I don't want to use that. I don't want to be relying on just a little bit of line hint, a hint of a line. If that's required, I'm not going to be happy. I don't think it will be. Killer cages. Digits in a cage must add to the indicated number without repeats. So for example, in this cage, there will be a number of digits. We don't know how the cage goes, but whatever the digits in the cage are, they cannot repeat and they'll sum to 13. In this cage, they'll sum to 4. Kropki Difference Pairs. Cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive. So if there was a white dot between those two cells, the digits must be consecutive. And progressive fog. We've come to call this dynamic fog. This puzzle has been sitting in my queue for a while, which is some correctly entered digits may clear fog from certain cells. The cells cleared may be anywhere in the grid. So for example, if we put that digit in, it may clear those 4 cells. We don't know. They're the rules. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. The 4 cage is screaming out to me because this cage is at least 2 cells long. Now, it couldn't grow into another cell because if it grew into another cell without repeats, the minimum it could be in 3 cells would be 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 6. So it cannot be 3 cells long. It is more than 1 cell because this cage grows into this because this, you can see there's no edge here. So it's 2 cells long. And how can you do 4 in 2 cells? Well, if you don't use a 1, the minimum is 2 plus 3, which is 5, so it must use a 1, and if you use a 1, then 1 plus what equals 4? It's 1 plus 3, so this is 1 and 3. Okay, so now we can talk about German whisper lines. So how do German whisper lines work? First of all, you can never put 5 on a German whisper line, because a 5 on a German whisper line, because of the difference of at least 5, doesn't work. Because if you add, in order to have a difference of at least 5, you add or subtract 5 or more. If I add 5 or more to 5, I end up at 10 or higher, and if I subtract 5 or more, I'm at 0 or lower. None of that is valid Sudoku digits. So that means you can never put 5 on a German whisper line. So every digit is either below 5 or above 5. With a digit below 5, you can never put another digit below 5 next to it because even with 1 and 4, the maximum difference is 3. And the same, you could never put 2 digits that are above 5 next to each other because the maximum difference is 3. 6 and 9 have a difference of 3. So once you've got a digit below 5, the ones next to it must be above 5. So these are both above 5. Now, what can I tell about that? If this is a 3, these are 8 and 9. And I don't see why that's a problem. Okay, let's draw some lines in because it may help. So we know that this goes into here and this goes into here. This goes into here and this goes into here. Now, what can we tell about that? These are high. If those were both high, well, could those be low? They'd be 2 and 4, and that would be 9, and that would be 1. So if these are low, because these are the same, because it's either high, low, high, or low, high, low. So these are the same. If these are low, they are 2 and 4, and this is a 9. These couldn't be a 9. Neither of those could be a 9, and therefore this couldn't be a 3, because 3 can only go next to 8 and 9. So if these are low, this is a 1. If these are high, this is low. If it's 2, these would be from 7, 8, 9. Right. This is always a 1. Because if this is a 3, these become 8, 9. Yeah, okay, let's look at it this way. If these are low, they're 2, 4, and this would have to be a 9, which means there's no 9 in either of these, and this couldn't be a 3 because these would be a maximum of 7, 8, not allowing those to be 3, because 3 and 7 are only 4 apart. So that's if those are low. If these are high, 6, 7, 8, 9, I couldn't put a 6, hang on. Yeah, I couldn't put a 6 in either of those, because a 6 in either of those would need this to be a 1, and it can't be because the 1, 3 is down here. So the 6 is in one of those two, making that a 1. So whichever way it works, that's the 1, and that's the 3. That's very cool. And 3 needs this to be an 8 or a 9. So now these can't be high digits, because if these were high digits, then these being high digits would mean I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high digits. So these are 2 and 4, which means this is the 9. I can now get rid of these because they're not needed anymore. That's very cool. That takes the 9 makes this the 8, which means these are 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 5. 6, 7 here. That line goes into there, so this is 1 or 2, and the 1 means this is the 2, meaning this can't be the 6, because the 6 and the 2 are only 4 apart. That's the 7, so this is the 6. And I'm not sure what to do there. Right, this can't be a 4, because this goes down here. If this is a 4, this would have to be a 9, so that's the 2, that's the 4. 2 means this is 7, 8, or 9. And it can't be a 9 because 2 plus 5 is 7, so it has to be 7, at least 7. This has to be a low digit. It's a 3 or a 4, and it can't be a 4 because if this is a 4, this would have to be a 9, and it can't be. That's the 3. 3 plus 5 is at least 8, or 3 and 7 are only 4 apart, so that doesn't work. This is a 5 cage, and the 5 cage, there's only 2 ways of making a 5 cage if I in 2 digits. If I use a 1, I need a 4. If I use a 2, I need a 3, and after that it's 3 and 2, and I'm repeating. So this is 1 and 4, so this is always a low digit. So this must always be a high digit, 6, 8, or 9, because it can't be 7. It also can't be 8. And this is a high digit, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9. It can't be 6, because if this is 6, both of those would need to be a 1, because the low digit on the other side of the 6, if you subtract 5 from 6, you're at 1, and it's the only possibility. Every other digit is too close, so this can't be a 6. So if this is a 9, this is a 4. If this is an 8, this is a 5, and it can't be, so this can't be an 8. And if this is a 7, this is a 6. Okay. Does put 2 in one of those two, because I must put a 2 in the box and I can't put it in any of those. But this is a low digit, but I'm not seeing that yet. Okay, if this is a 7, these are 1 and 2, which would make that a 2. That 7 would make that a 6, would make that a 9. So, hang on, if this is a 1, if this is a 7, 7, 6, 9, if this is a 9, this is a 4. This gets, which makes this 1, 4, and this is a 9. This is always a 9. If this is a 7, this is a 1, which makes this 4, 6, 9. And if this is a 9, then that's a 4, which makes this 1, 4, and the 4 here makes that a 9. So this is always a 9. That's really freaky. And this is now a 17 cage. But this, that doesn't tell me much. These digits sum to 8, but I could do 8 in more than 2 digits, maybe? Maybe? Like, oh. I think it has to be 8 in those 2 digits, because 17 minus 9 is 8. Now, if I did 8 in 3 digits, I can't put a 2 in any of those cells. So it'd be 1, 3, 4. That would be a 4. These would need to be 1, 3. 4, 1. So it'd be 1, 3. I actually might be able to do that. So it's something to do with this. It's got to be this. Why can't this be 4, 1, 3? Well, can I do 8 in 2? 1, 7 would leave that to be 4, 9. It'd be 1, 7. That seems to be okay. 2, 6 doesn't work. 3, 5 would potentially work. Two is up here. 5, I don't know. 7, I don't know. Okay, this is a low digit, but I don't see what that's doing for me. One, 2, 3. I don't think it could be 4, because 4, 6, 7. One, 4. 4, 4, maybe. Oh, hang on. 4 would make that 6, 7. But 4 here would need a 9 here. So it'd be 4, 9, 4. This can't be a 4. If this is a 3, this is 9, 4. But that does work. This is 1, 2, or 3, though. It's got to be this cage. But why can't those sum to 8? As 1, 3, 4. It'd be 4 here, 4 here, because then it'd be 1 here with 1, 3. I can't see that. Oh, this 2 is part of the cage. So those sum to 11. So these 2 cells have, right, I missed this 2 cage going into here as well. So this cage takes those, so this cage goes into here, but this cell also goes into here. So that's part of it. So these sum to 11. Those 2 cells need to sum to 6, and I can't add to it. Because if I added to it, that's what I missed. I missed the cage furniture here. If I added to it, these would need to be 1, 2, 3 summing to 6, and I can't repeat the 2. Those 2 cells have to sum to 6. Well, if I use a 1, it has to be with 1, 5. If I use a 2, it's 2, 4, and I can't do that. This is 1, 5. That's what I missed. I wasn't paying enough attention to this being revealed. So this is a 4, this is a 1, making this 9, which makes this 4. These are 1 and 5. This is 1, 2, or 3 now. But this cage is now done. This digit here, or is it that one there? If it's a low digit, it's 2, which would make this 7. So if this is low, it's 2, and that would have to be 7. And that, well, there has to be a 2 in one of those 2, because this is a pair of digits on a German whisper line, and one of them must be low. So there must be a 2 down here, because the low digit on this pair of digits can't be a 1, 3, or 4. So that's not the 2, that's a 2 in the corner. That was a typo, sorry about that. And the 2 can go with 7 or 8 only. So this is 2, 7, or 8, because I can't use a 6, it's only 4 apart, and the 9's not available. There's no 2 here. This is a triple now. 5, 6, and 7. Well, there's no 6 there. So 6 is in one of those two. So this or this, because those could be 7, 9, if that, no, they can't be. These digits, so we've got this line, which is running vertically through here, because this one goes into this cell and this one goes into this cell. So what we know is those two cells are the same high-low. If they were high, 6 and 8 is not available. So these would be 7 and 9. And if those are a 7, 9, this has to, the 7 means that this would have to be from either 1 or 2. Without 2 being available, this would be a 1. But with the consecutive dot, what would that have to be? If this is a 1, that would have to be a 2, and it can't be. So these can't be 7, 9. These are low digits. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one can't be 2 or 4. And this one I'm not sure, but this is a high digit, and this is 7 or 9. So this is 6 or 8. The 1, 5 means that's the 3, which means this can't be a 7 because there'd be only a 4 difference. That's the 9, that's the 8. This can't be a 3 now, but it can be, it can't be a 2 either. It's 1 or 4. This is very cool. The 8 comes out of there. 7 by Sudoku. I do need to put each digit in each box. 7's not in any of those. It's not in any of those. It's not in those two. That's a 7. And these, there must be a 6 in one of those two. These are 1, 4, 5, and 6. Well, there's 4. 4's not in any of those. That is a 4. And these are 1, 5, 6. Oh, this is cool. But I still haven't cracked it yet. I'm fully aware of this as a concept. So, there's no 7 here. So, the 8 in this box is definitely in one of those two. So there's an 8 in one of those two. The low... all I know is 2 is in one of those two, 8 is in one of those two. This is quite tricky. Quattro Quadri are quite tricky. So this is 1 or 3. So I am actually going to do some coloring here. I don't know which one that is, but these are different colors. So if this is high, this is high. If this is an 8, this would be 6 or 7. So if this is an 8, this is a 2. If this is a 7, this is a 2. If this is a 7, this is a 1. And this is a 2. And that would be an 8. 7, 1, 2, 8. If this is an 8, this is a low digit and would be a 7. If this is 2, 7, this is a 1. Because if this is a 2, this becomes a 7. This has to be 1 or 2 to be next to the 7, but the 2 is here, so this is a 1. If this is an 8, this is a 2. Therefore, this has to be a high digit. It can't be an 8 or a 9, and with that being a 2, this is only 1 or 7. That's very strange. What about this one? If this is 2, 8, this has to be 1 or 3, because 2, 8, 8 can only go next to 1, 2, or 3. But if this is 2, if this is the 2, this is a high digit. Which is 6 or 8. No, this is 8. So this is only 1, 3, or 8. And I don't understand what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 is in one of those two. Because this can't be a 5. Why can't that be a 5? Because it's on a German whisper line. All of these cells have, so there's no 5 here. Because there's German whisper lines in all of those. 5 is in one of those two. But 1, 2, this could be a 3. 7 is in, 7 is in one of those two. I can't put 7 here. It would break the case. 7 is in one of those two. I'm lost. I'm quite lost. Hang on, is this 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 only? Can't put 4 on this, can't put 5 on this. Can't put 6 on this, I don't think. This has to be a 6, doesn't it? Can't put 6 in here because these sum to 6. 6 can't go here, it couldn't go next, this would need to be a 1. 6 can't go here, this would need to be a 1. 6 can't go here, this would need to be a 1. This can't be a 6, this would need to be a 1. There's no 6 in any of those, there's no 6 here. This can't be a 6 because this would need to be a 1. This is actually a 6, which means that's the 7, that's the 5, that's the 6. The 7 looks down, making that the 1. That's very cool. The 1 means that's the 7, which means that's the 2, that's the 8, that's the 3, that's the 5, that's the 1. There's no 1 there, and the 6 makes that the 5 and that the 6. And that's the solution to the Quattro Quadri. It's had 369 solves in 200 days. Yeah. Very cool puzzle, though. This bit took me a fair bit to realize. I needed to look at 6s. That's what I needed to do. I needed to remember that 4s and 6s are really, really constrained. You'd think by now, with all of the German whisper puzzles I've solved, that I would get that. I think the biggest blind spot I had was this 2 and this 17 cage. I think that was the biggest blind spot I had. But this was really cool. And it's better to light a candle. You not take candle. It's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. Curse you, darkness. I curse you, my darkness blind spot on that cage. Very cool puzzle. Thank you, Maya. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope you're enjoying the puzzles. I'm having a lot of fun solving them. And I have an idea for what I'm doing tomorrow. And it's probably a puzzle you've already seen, but I've been told... I've had a few people ask me to solve it and because they want to see my take on it. So we'll see how it all goes. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And as always, good luck with your solving.